Now, I want to go from yelling at our country's leaders to yelling at other countries' leaders, namely Iran. I mean, if you thought Dick Cheney was psychotic, wait till you get a load of the leaders of Iran, the Supreme Court and its supreme religious leader, as well as its president, Mahmoud Ahmadinejad. So, here's what they're doing. The Supreme Court of Iran just passed a decision saying it is okay to murder people if you consider them morally corrupt. Just think about that for a second. And you're not hearing it wrong. If I think someone is morally corrupt, let's say, RJ and I get into a dispute later today, and he says, oh, by the way, once I cheated on my girlfriend. And I said, you're morally corrupt. In Iran, it is legal. It is legal for me to kill him, to cut his throat, or to stone him to death, or to shoot him in the head. It's legal. And then and get a load of this. If it turns out that I'm wrong, and RJ was not, quote-unquote, morally corrupt, and by the way, you can be morally corrupt for about anything, okay? And I'll give you the guidelines in a second. If it turns out I'm wrong, and RJ was not morally corrupt, well, then I have to give $40,000 to his family, and then I go free.
40,000. I mean, there's no sliding scale on that based on income of the innocent person, or it's just 40,000. I mean,
yes and no. It's just 40,000. Except I'm glad you mentioned the sliding scale because there is a sliding scale. But there's only two factors: not your wealth, not who you are, not how old you are, not how young you are, not the value, anything like that. No. Actually, I wouldn't have to give your family $40,000. You give $40,000 if it's a Muslim male.
Ah.
But if you're not Muslim, so I only have to give $20,000.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Okay, now, but the other
that's the Jew discount. That's the okay. Got it. All right.
Right. That's one discount. You can get a discount for something else.
What's that? I'm a woman.
Exactly.
There you go. How much is that?
That's also $20,000.
That's $20,000. Okay.
So a Muslim woman equals a non-Muslim man.
So you can take out. So if your wife cheats on you, or somebody else's wife cheats on you with a non-Muslim male, you can take them both out for the cost of one Muslim.
No, actually,
I mean, I'm always looking for a bargain. That's just the kind of guy I am.
Well, RJ, that's good thinking, but the bargain here is you get to do that for free.
That's right. It's only if I'm wrong.
No, exactly, because that is one of the things that is under the morally corrupt banner. Armed banditry, obviously kill them. Don't even ask any questions. But that one, it's on a relatively speaking, I get, right? Adultery by a wife, you can kill the wife and the guy doing it.
And that's
for
a
free.
freebie. Okay.
That's free.
Right.
And then you walk into court and you say, oh, they were cheating on me. Done. You're free to go.
Can you do this for anybody's wife, though, not just your own?
Oh,
right?
absolutely. And they do. And they do. There's cases where they say, oh, yeah, what are you kidding me? They killed this young couple who was engaged to get married because they were walking together in public. They killed them, and the Supreme Court just let them go, saying, hey, look, if they were walking together, I don't care if they were engaged, morally corrupt, you were right to kill them.
See, you know what's horrible about this? Persia used to be the most civilized, advanced, literate, beautiful country in that part of the world, and now they're living under the oppression of these maniacs.
They are. They're absolute maniacs. And Persia, of course, one of the great empires in world history, and it's now run by a bunch of cavemen. Look, another reason you can kill somebody, and this definitely applies to me, so freebie anytime you want, RJ.
Oh, well, okay. Good to know. Let's not argue.
Right. Insult to the Prophet Muhammad.
Uh-huh.
So, you know I've insulted the Prophet Muhammad. It's a freebie to all Iranians. You can kill me anytime you like and get away with it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Now, does this apply everywhere or just in Iran?
Well,
or don't they say?
It applies to Iranian laws. So if you kill me here, you're probably going to have to deal with the U.S. justice system.
Yeah.
But if you kill me here and you run away to Iran and you go to Iran's Supreme Court, the Iran Supreme Court goes, oh, he insulted the Prophet Muhammad. Obviously, you should have killed him. You're free to go. Now, if it turns out I insulted Muhammad, who's my neighbor down the street,
right,
instead of the Prophet Muhammad, honest mistake, but I'm no longer a Muslim, so that's $20,000 you pay my parents, and then you're free to go. And by the way, for those of you who don't get it, you can also just kill anybody you like and say, oh, I thought he had insulted the Prophet Muhammad. My bad, here's $20,000. It allows rich people to kill people for a fee.
What is the Farsi for my bad? Because I think it's going to be a popular phrase right now. That and can I borrow $20,000 are going to be very popular phrases. But, the thing that really gets me about all of this, and it really does, is the fact that our own policy there is driving, is polarizing and making these madmen even more popular in their own country. Because when Ahmadinejad won, he barely squeaked in. But by the way we've mishandled things over there, he's exploiting all the anti-American stuff. If we could get smarter with that stuff, we could drive these nuts out of power and hopefully give these people a chance to reform their country a little bit, because a lot of people over there want to do it.
RJ, the reason I agree with you is because I don't believe that a majority of Iranians agree with this. And in fact, there was a good deal of outrage at the Supreme Court decision, and other times that they've done it before, there's also been outrage. And so I think that if we had the right policies, we can drive most of Iran to be on our side. And because they look, the reformers were winning every single election until we invaded Iraq. Okay, that's an absolute fact. That's undeniable. And every reasonable Middle East expert tells you, hey, listen, Iran was driving towards democracy, reform, and secularism rather than fundamentalism until there was a significant threat and nationalism took over. And when the United States occupied Iraq, and that drove people towards the fundamentalists.
Absolutely.
And Ahmadinejad. Now, look, then the conservatives, in a great fit of irony, say, oh, and I saw O'Reilly doing this yesterday, oh, yeah, you see that? All that the liberals do is they hate America, and they never criticize the Muslim countries that are much worse. No, you idiots. Okay, you think we'd want to live under Iran? Iran is the worst possible state you could live under at this point. Of course we don't want that. We want to drive Iran towards secularism.
Absolutely.
You're the ones that are preventing that by both antagonizing the whole Middle East, driving them towards nationalism, and supporting fundamentalism yourself. Because how much of a moral authority do you have to go to Iran and say, no, our Christian fundamentalism is right, but your Muslim fundamentalism is wrong?